Hi, I'm Gary Jenkins, and welcome to the beauty of oil paintings. Nice to see you guys again out there. Let's take a look at the painting because it is a little bit different than all the other shows. Oh boy, look at that. We have some kind of greenery in the back, a little bit of water. We have some lily pads down here and flowers, but up in here it's kind of impressionistic. So let's take a look at the canvas. I have it prepared with some acrylic. You know, on most of the shows I'm doing for you guys, I have an acrylic already on there. This is mostly black. There might be a touch of green with it. Aqua blue coming on down to ultramarine blue. On the bottom there might be a little mauve in there. And I took also a squirt bottle, and when I was putting the acrylic on, I just squirted some water on there. But this is all dry. And I have taken, I'll just take a little more, a little touch of medium on my towel. And I wipe it down just to kind of get the whole thing started. There's no pattern this time. We're just going to go right in there and pick some stuff out of there. We're not going to start with a brush. Let's come on down to the old palette. I'm going to start with a paper towel. We're going to just, and wad the towel up. Don't make it so that it is flat like that. We want a bunch of wrinkles and creases in it because it makes a better pattern. And we'll take a little of our green, dark, and maybe some of our light, and just kind of hit it on your palette. I'm going to take that up here and hit it. Now what this is going to do is just going to give us sort of an abstract pattern. Let's take a little yellow and green mixed together, makes a lighter green, and there, boy, that shows up there. And you can see the pattern, it's very abstract, and it kind of looks like leaves that are way in the background. And down in here, you could take your finger and kind of mush it in. In some areas where we want a cooler color, we'll take our aqua blue and a touch of yellow, still mixing with the old paper towel, and come up here. Oh yeah. And sometimes when you put it on, in order not to get the same pattern, you turn it this way and that way. And you can see already how it's looking like a bunch of stuff back there. Each time you do this, it turns out different, and you don't want to do the same thing twice. Anyway, you want a leaf in there? Boom, put it in. We'll get rid of that towel, and let's bring some. There's an old log kind of hidden back in there, like a tree that just fell over. We're going to take our white, and a touch of yellow, maybe, well, no. Let's take just white and a touch of blue and some odorless thinner. I use odorless thinner to clean my brushes. And from time to time, I'll be doing that. And this is a liner brush, and in it goes. It comes around. Now, this is an old limb that's fallen down, has some limbs coming off of it. And as it comes back, it fades into the dark. So let's just take our finger, you see, and let that fade away. Yeah, you use your finger a lot in painting. Now, we'll have our little limbs coming out. Don't get wormy with them. This is sort of an angular stroke. And some, now, you can put as many limbs in as you want. You could even have, if you wanted to, a little white heron, which we painted on some of the shows for you, sitting right about in here. Now, I used to take my canoe out on the lake, and I would paddle around taking photographs of all this neat stuff that I would find out there. I'm going to take a little black. And I would photograph these little scenes. This was just really an island back here with some lily pads and some flowers growing around it. I thought, well, gee, that would be cool. So I used to go out and do all that good photography. What a fun way to spend a day. Yeah. Look at that go in. Now we're going to go in, clean that brush off. I have odorless thinner off on the side. You don't see me, but I'm dipping into it, and also some medium. Let's go in and pick some leaves out. Now we're going to take some of this blue and yellow with our long brush. And right up in here, boom, boom. You see how we can kind of come in there and just kind of hit it. Now this is very impressionistic. It's very loose and free, loosey-goosey. Just hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Now I'm not just hitting. Let me show you how I'm hitting. I'm hitting and then kind of coming up to the point. Hit, come up to the point. And that's what I'm doing to get the feeling of leaves way back there. Now that's a nice cool color. Let's come down and let's take our yellow and maybe a touch of orange. We're going to warm it up just a little bit. The orange with the yellow. Let's see what that does. Oh yes, you see how we just, now what we have here is we have warm color and cool color. Yeah. And just hit it. Get that nice loose feel to it. So it looks very impressionistic. And it looks like stuff happening way in the back. But don't overdo. Let's come down to this section down in here. Now remember, this was acrylic. Whoa, look at that. This is acrylic underneath, and it's dry. There's a little blue on there. It doesn't matter. This is dry except for the linseed or medium that I have on the whole canvas. Okay, now let's take a larger brush, a little touch of medium, and we're going to take some of this. Now on the palette, you can see I have aqua blue, which is a cool blue, and I have more of an ultramarine blue. So I have, which is, I said it backwards. Aqua blue is warm, and ultramarine is cool. Okay, let's take this color. And let's come up here and just sort of overlap into that dark, just a little bit. You see it? Mm-hmm. Very transparent. We're going to take our blending brush and hit it on the down, so that it looks like some of that water is going over the top of some of this shadow. Maybe you can just kind of run it through there like this. And if it looks too hard, use your blender to pull through. Is that cool? Look at those little edges coming out. That's neat. Now there's some neat stuff that happened down in here, and that was caused by when I was putting the acrylic on. This stuff will happen. It can happen. And here, some stuff going in. Use your imagination. But with that underpainting on there, it is the most helpful thing in the world to get started, get you doing some really neat, cool stuff. We're going to take our white with a touch of this aqua blue, this titanium white. And I'm using portrait smooth canvas, very important, so it doesn't have all those lumps and bumps, and it also saves the canvas. Look at that going in, and then hit it, pull it down, pull it down. Play and experiment. That's what this stuff's all about. It's just experimenting with different stuff. Different things happening and going on. Now let's come on up and let's take a little of this green. Let's see what that does. I don't have that in the painting I'm working from, but who cares? Let's get it in, put it on, pull your brush through it, and each time you do a painting like this, it turns out different. Let's take a little of our what is that color? Foliage green light, and there's a little touch of kind of a bluish white. I have titanium white, I have aqua blue, and a little bit of that foliage green light. Whew, all those colors. Let's put a little lily pad right in here. Now lily pads, when you put them in, they're oval shaped. Now I've taught classes where I do this, lily pads, and everybody wants to make a round circle. And then what happens is your lily pads fall off the canvas. So make sure that you have them oval. Another one here. Put that one in. Kind of wiggle it a little bit because they have that little edge that's sort of curvy. And maybe another one here overlapping, but maybe we'll take, now I have a string of gray mixed up here going from black to white with our little middle tone. So I have this mixed up in case I want to gray down some of my colors. They're right there to use. And here goes another one. Oh, look at that one. Woo-wee. Fun things to do. And now, if you keep them rather in the oval shape, it works out much better for you. let's take a little of this white. And we'll get a little of that white on these lily pads right up in here. Sometimes there's a little vein that runs out of the middle like this. See? And we have another one over here. Yeah. This is really a very simple painting to do. Not hard at all. There's a little shadow underneath. We'll take some mauve and a touch of black. Or maybe a little touch of this ultramarine blue. Make a nice dark. And we can get a nice little shadow under there. I'm using a filbert brush. And what this does, it helps those lily pads to sit down, so they don't go floating all over the place. A little more of this blue. Work that in. Remember, you could take your finger and work that in, so they don't float off the surface of the water. There's some, I'm going to take a little orange, or actually, that's Cadbury Light, and a little yellow. And there's some little colors in here. Maybe in here. Just to kind of bounce a little color around. I'm going to use my white, titanium white. Let's pick a nice light in here. Yeah, maybe some veins coming out over here. See? And we have some lily pads. Let's come down to the palette. This is foliage green light, and we haven't used any sienna. Maybe use some of that. And let's come back and find some lily pads way in the back. Now these are just kind of indicated. Maybe we want to lighten it up a little. Lighten up. Take some white with that. And let's get in there. Yeah. Now these are just indicated. They're just kind of there, but even when you're indicating, make sure you keep them oval shape, not round. And there's lots of them back in here. Coming forward, we even have some. In here, here, here. Just an indication. Don't have to go nuts with them. Let's take a little bit green. Maybe we'll darken this up a little here. Once you put them in and you get them established, then you can go back in and mess with them. I call it messing with them because maybe it's a little bit darker, green here and there. Here's another little shot going in here. So this is wet into wet. You put your base color on and you go in and mess with them. Take photographs. I work from photographs all the time. I took these photos when I was out in my canoe. And I must have come back with 100 of them. Okay, and towards the back, we're going to take a little bit titanium white, a touch of blue. And let's hit a couple of these way in the back, just here and there, where the light is just jumping around. Alrighty, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to come back up now that we have the painting going. I'm going to bring this out a little bit more to kind of cut into that dark. See? And remember, you could have a little heron sitting back there. For those of you that live maybe in countries where they don't have herons, it's just a white bird, which I did on some of the shows. And we're going to have a little bit of dark just in here just to kind of break that up. Now we do have, oh, you know what? There's some beautiful colors showing. Maybe the leaves were just turning. Who knows what's happening back, but there's a little bit of this. Make sure it's sort of a horizontal stroke. You can kind of work it in a little bit. A little more orange and red. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Just kind of here and there, and use your finger to spread it around. Maybe take a little of this yellow. And we'll find some of that right in there. Just bump, 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 bump. You see it? You see it? This is very impressionistic. It's very loose and very free. If you tighten up with this stuff, it ain't going to work. Let's put we have some flowers in there that are kind of cool. First goes the stem. Foliage green dark, and we're going to put a little stem maybe right in here, coming down, and curve it a little bit. We'll take our little, well, I think, let's try it with our filbert, see what that does. If it doesn't work with the filbert, we could always use our liner brush. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Look at that. Lots of petals in there, just a little flower growing, not bothering anybody. We'll take our little cad red light and orange on our little pointed sable. A little dot in the middle there. We have some that are just kind of growing around. They're sort of floating on top of the water. So we're going to go in and put these guys in. See? And I think there's some of them just sort of, they sort of peek out from behind the other lilies in the back. See? There's one there. We might have another one there. They're way in the back, guys, so don't try to show every petal. Just a hint. You don't even have to see the show the inside because they're too far back. Cad red light. And we'll put just a hint of a little red in there. Now, it still looks a little flat in the back. We're going to take our white with our little round brush. We're going to come in the back. Now, the stroke is sort of a flip up. You see how we flip it up? It's not just straight. When you start to flip, it adds energy to your painting. Here and there, stuff happening in the back. Again, it's a simple painting, but it's simple because we're making it simple. And how are we making it simple? We're not showing a lot of detail. We're like the old masters, the old Renoir, and all the rest of those guys. I just wanted to paint a scene and just not show a lot of detail, but just get a feeling of stuff happening in the back. You could say so much more with just an indication than you can by showing every little detail. By just showing a little bit of stuff happening, it lets the audience participate in the painting. By not showing everything, the people looking at your painting will fill it in for you. Yeah. It sounds weird, but that's what happens. Let's come up to the top. We're going to take a little yellow and white and come on up here. Now we have our dark, we have our middle tone. And now, by adding a little white, we're going to get some more leaf. Look at that. Now let me show you the stroke. I'm not just coming up here and hitting the canvas. Let's come in and let me show you. The brush goes down, flat. And as I come up, I come to the point. Can you see it? Down, up to the point. So that we're not just making marks on a canvas, but we're actually getting the feeling of leaves. Look at these. It's picking up the paint in the background, and it's getting darker. So right in this area, we're going to take our yellow and our white. Maybe there's a little blue in it. And I'm going to come up here, and not all your leaves are facing the same way, you guys. You have some facing the other way. See? See? Push down and pull up. Some can even be a little bit larger. Don't skip past the detail. So important. A little more up in here. What is that up in there? It looks like a little light shining through. Things happen when you first put in your acrylic. Let this little stuff happen. We're going to come up and get a little bit lighter, taking a little more white. And let's go up another value. What does that do? Whoa, look at that. Look at that. You see how I put the brush down and twist and come to a point? Maybe a little stem, push and come to a point. Push and come to a point. It's this detail that when people look at your paintings, they want to see this stuff. Maybe a leaf, one of the leaves has dropped, several of them have dropped down. Look. Yeah. Maybe over here. Cool stuff. I love doing these paintings, especially the acrylic in the background. It's a kick. Let's take and make sure that that limb goes off into nothing. Now this is a little green going in. You can see how that limb continues on into the shadow And we're going to take our liner brush in the shadow area. Detail, detail, detail. It's a simple painting, but it has some detail, some stuff going on. Okay, let's pull back and see what we have. Okay. When you get finished, the last thing you do is the first thing people see in your painting. I know, I tell you that all the time. Let's take a little white with our nice long liner brush. And we're going to come in here and put now this is very important, to put these little sparkles in. Put it in and pull it down. I'm going to show you guys a little trick here. Put a little dot on your canvas and take your finger, pull it down. Put a little dot on the canvas, take your finger, pull it down. This is so important to learn how to do this because it really does add a lot of sparkle to your painting. And way back in here we want to continue our sparkle on, but don't put too many sparkles in, otherwise you'll get sick of sparkles. Another shot here. Now, if you get too many sparkles going, you can use your blending brush and just, oh, there, that's good stuff. Look at that, how I just ran across it. See it? See it? See it? Okay. Now, I think, in looking at the painting, I see there's more stuff up in here. I think we got enough down below, because you don't want to load it up. The beautiful part, look at that thing. Give me a break. That looks good. I like these little drippies over here. That happened during the putting on of the acrylics. Let's go up to the top of the canvas, because we have time, and I want to stress to you guys out there the importance of doing all this detail. I'm glad to have time. I can show you this. Normally I don't have time. Come in. Notice I'm hitting. The detail, the hard detail is right in this area, and as we come off to the left, we drift off into nothing. This is yellow and white again, because I have all that detail on one side and nothing over here. So we have to bring some of it over. Push down and pull up using the little round brush. If you guys get a chance to go get in a canoe and visit places like this. This is actually an island back here where I photographed. And if you get a chance, and take a little boat, it doesn't have to be a canoe, you could have a rowboat or whatever, and visit these little places, because I really enjoy painting the little stuff like this. Now I know you can, there's paintings where they paint the mountains and the stuff growing and little reflections down. I just don't care to do the full out stuff. I like doing little close-up, little pieces of nature that people have a tendency to bypass. It's like I like taking a little flower and painting. Let me see if I have an arrangement here. See if I can get one of these guys out of here. See, I enjoy taking a flower. Here's just a little guy. Can you see this? I enjoy taking a flower like this and blowing it up. Let's get in there and let's take a close look at this flower. Look at that. See, I enjoy taking a little guy like this and blowing it up big on say just that one flower on a 30 by 40 canvas, and showing everybody the wonderful detail that we have inside. Nobody takes time to look at a flower. We look at the outside, but we don't take time to look inside. So by painting these large, it makes you look at the inside. Painting these little, we call them graphics. So, there's something else to do. On our series here, we've gotten into all kinds of stuff. Let's look at the finished painting over here and look at all the wonderful little stuff going on. You see, I just don't have time to get in today, but we did get a lot into it. But look at this. Can you see that accent of that beautiful red, orangey red color. That's the complementing color of blue. And so that gives us a little bit of a shot to add energy to your painting. Oh, I just add a little more energy. This is the one that'll be in the book for you guys. Well, there you are. I hope you enjoyed this show, and don't forget to get into a canoe and take a ride out on the lake, and let's photograph all these wonderful lily pads. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stop and smell those roses along the way. I'll see you next time.
Het derde boek van Gary Jenkins is uit, boordevol prachtige bloemen en rozen. Nieuw in deze uitgave zijn de exotische vogels en vissen. U heeft deze derde editie al in huis voor slechts €34,50. Of bestel de prachtige Jenkins DVD voor dezelfde prijs. Bestel snel en maak uw serie Jenkins boeken compleet. Kijk voor bestelinformatie op omroepmax.nl of op teletextpagina 330.